Hello, everyone. How are you on this amazing Friday? I'm coming into you today with Financially Fit Fridays brought to you by W Squared AV Talk. I am so excited to be here with you guys because we've been talking about some important factors about being financially fit in your personal lives and in your business, right? So today we have been working on some other things in budgets and also in Samuel reviews. But this is the thing. We want to come back real quick and talk to you about a few areas of importance. We've been getting some feedback on some questions and some other areas that we thought was really important to bring back to you and to talk a little bit more in detail. Okay. And so I wanted to come back and talk to you about a few other things. But before we do so, let's talk about Financially Fit Fridays. Financial Fit Fridays was brought to you by W Squared AV Talk. And the purpose of us coming forth with this particular program is to help individuals and business owners that are trying to become more financially fit in their finances and even maybe in their retirements for years to come. Okay. And so part of that is taking little bitty steps, step by step, to help you get a little bit more in tune with your finances, to understand what needs to be changed, what needs to be adjusted, and possibly any areas that you feel like you're just not really sure about how to get around it, how to maneuver around it. And so we wanted to bring this particular program to you, Financially Fit Fridays, to try to help in any way that we can, to give some type of guidance and some help in what to do to bring you a little bit closer to where you're trying to be, right? So I'm excited that we have a chance to talk to you about this today because I want you to understand that you're not the only person that's in the position that you're in, right? Sometimes when we are business owners, and even if we are not business owners, let's say that we are working a 9 to 5 or possibly have a W 2 job, we are also trying to figure out how to get better prepared for later on in years when you want to walk away from that job, right? And so there are some things that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. If you was with us a couple weeks ago, we talked about being really savvy on your budgets, want to look at some areas of what you need to change in your budgets, how to do it, what particular areas that you want to streamline in. We even gave some percentages as far as what is actually needed for how much you're putting towards your fixed costs, how much you need to put towards those variable things and things like that, right? We went down a list of itemization of what you need to streamline your budget. If you missed that episode, please make sure you go back to YouTube and do a replay, okay? But as of today, let's talk a little bit more detailed about what's coming on right now. We are in the semi-annual review time frame. I don't know if you guys do a semi-annual review like I do, but every year, mid-year, I want to see what is going on in my finances. I want to do an evaluation, right? So, guys, I don't know about y'all. I get excited about this kind of stuff right here. Like saying, it is evaluation time. Evaluation time. Are you evaluating what's going on in your personal finances? Are you evaluating what is going on in your business finances? Are you evaluating? I'm sorry, I get kind of excited, but are you evaluating what's going on in your numbers? Are you evaluating what's going on in your numbers? Why not? Why are you not evaluating what's going on in your numbers? I can stay on this line right here forever because it is so vitally important, y'all, to know a little bit more about your numbers. You are in control of your numbers. You are in control of your numbers, and you decide how much you want to put in fixed costs and variable costs and all those miscellaneous items that you like to spend on. You are in control of your numbers. So we're talking about semi-annual review. We are halfway through the year, and that means that you should be looking at what has happened in the first 6 months. what has happened in the first 6 months of your year and figure out if those things are working into your benefit. Are they? Are they working to your benefit? Let's give an example. Let's say that you are, let's just talk about personal. Let's just stay on personal for a minute. We're not even going to talk about business. Let's talk about personal for a second, then we'll jump into business. On a personal evaluation of your finances, looking at your bank statements, looking at how much money you are personally bringing into your home and how much money you are actually paying out of your house. Okay, so are you actually overdoing it? Are you living outside of the means? Okay. The reason why I say that is that if you are actually looking at your paycheck every single pay period, and if that pay period was to skip, you can't do nothing. You are shut down. There's nothing else you can do. They just gonna have to wait till you get paid again. There's nothing else out there that you can pull from. No other savings, no other cash flows, no other nothing. All of that is out the door. If that is the situation, evaluate that situation. If you are actually using every dime that you have to pay your personal finances and you don't have anything left over at the end of your paycheck, yes, this is what we need to be talking about right now. Evaluating that. Okay. How do you change it and where do you begin? Okay. So, fixed costs. We're going to look at the fixed costs, those things that you know that has to be paid every single month, like your mortgage or your rent. You got to have somewhere to live, right? Also, what about those things that's also fixed costs for you right now? Let's say you have a contract for a car. Maybe you leasing a car. Maybe you buying a car, financing a car. That's another fixed cost, but you can adjust that a little bit more, okay? We'll talk about it a little bit, but you can actually adjust that along the way. But those other things that are pertinent, that has to be paid, utilities, those vary, but you got to have them. Utilities, water, lights, all those good things that you have to have, gas, if you have gas in your house, that kind of thing. Have to have those things, right? How about those variable cost items? Those variable cost items that you definitely need to have, but you may have more flexibility of canceling them, like your insurance and things of that nature, right? You need to have those things on your cars, on your house, and things like that, right? So those are the things that you need to be talking about as far as what is going on in your personal finances. Now, what I like to do is, I'm very techy. I have a good tech savvy person, but if you are not, listen, pen and paper, break it out. Pen and paper, write it down, make it plain. This is what I'm bringing in every single month. This is how much I'm actually spending out. Calculate it. Get your calculator out. Listen, y'all. This cell phone, let me tell you, the cell phone is a wonderful thing because even though you use it to talk on, it has a built-in calculator. You can always go to your built-in calculator and say, okay, let me calculate how much money I'm bringing in for this month, net, how much I'm bringing in after the government and the feds get their taxes. Okay, so this is my net income. My net income is such and such. Now, how much am I actually spending out? Okay, I'm spending out this amount of money. How much do I have left as discretionary income? Do you have any discretionary income? If not, how can we find it in those numbers? And tell you how you find it. I want you to go to your utilities. I want you to see what exactly you're paying out on your utilities that do not have to be paid out on. Let's say you have some additional fees built into it. Let's say you have possibly some additional information that's coming out of your payments. Example, cell phone. Let's say that your cell phone bill has an additional amount coming out for added costs, added this, added that, things that you're not using. Okay, things that you're not using. All right, how about maybe some additional channels that you're paying for in your channels in your cable bill that you're not using? You're always working. You ain't there looking at all them channels. Okay, those items, right? All the things that you can sort of knock down. But as you're knocking those things down, I want you to concentrate on bringing more cash flows in. So as you got things leaving out, and you're trying to reduce what's going out, let's also work on what you're bringing in. Okay. So as you're bringing more and more in, you need to also concentrate on those cash flows. Have you created cash flows to come into your home? Now, on a business standpoint, that's a totally different conversation. I love talking about on the business standpoint, but today I just wanted to focus in just a little bit on personal because we're getting a lot of inquiries and a lot of questions about, hey, I'm trying to build business credit, but I've messed myself up so bad on the personal side that I don't really know where to begin. Well, if you actually west yourself up on the personal side just a little bit, doesn't mean that it can't be fixed. Okay. That doesn't mean it can't be fixed. What it does mean is that you're going to have to take steps to fix those items. And if you feel like you're overextended on the personal side, then yes, we need to go ahead and start looking at what exactly is coming out of the home and what are you actually in control of. If you're not in control of a whole lot of stuff on your personal income, then we're going to have to make some deductions. Okay. There are some things that you may think that are completely out of your control when it comes to your personal finances. Quite honestly, there's a lot of things that you can control on your personal finances. There are things that you may not necessarily need. There are things that you may necessarily don't want to get rid of, but you can be without. You can actually work on a few things to make sure your personal is intact. Let me share something with you. So, when my husband and I, years ago, when we first wanted to get our first home, we were basically trying to figure out how to come up with the down payment. All right, we're talking 20 years ago. And I'm like, how in the world do I come up with a down payment for this amount of money in such a small time frame? I literally had 90 days to come up with enough money for this amount. And back then, our income was not the very high. We were still working things out. We had just got married 22 years ago, still trying to figure things out. And I was like, how in the world do I come up with $15,000, $20,000 in that time frame? Right? Well, what we end up doing was we learned how to do without certain things. Let me tell you, I stopped getting my nails done. I started doing everything on my own. He started cutting his own hair. No more $20 here, $20 there to get a haircut. He was cutting his own hair. Okay. We picked up extra jobs on the side and we grind through the process. He cut lawns as an extra side gig. I help clean homes as an extra side gig. All those things that we had to get done, and we did to make sure we were able to afford what we were trying so hard to afford at that time, right? And to get into that home and afford to pay the down payment because we both had what? W-2 jobs. We were still learning how to get our income together. We were newly married. All of those things were in play at that time, right? So now you understand when I say there are things that you have more control over than you believe. Listen, there is no going out to eat. There is no, I'm going to go, have fun with my friends on the weekend and just party it up and spend an extra $300-400 on a meal, knowing that I have things I need to pay the next following week. Those are the kind of things that you have more control over. And it can help you position yourself if you are truly trying to meet a goal and trying to meet a target and give yourself a time frame of when it needs to happen, then you actually can fit in on that really deeply. Let's talk about business. As you guys know, I am in the real estate broker game. I am a lending broker and I own a brokerage firm. And one of the things that we always talk to our clients about on the business side is, hey, this is an opportunity for you to now start becoming a landlord or an investor or positioning yourself to be in a position to actually have more rental properties, right? Cash flows, assets, build those things. Why is your personal credit important when we're talking about business? Because interest rates. You want to basically try to get the best interest rate possible in this given market. And they look at your credit score even if they put it into your business name. So these are the type of things that you have to sort of keep in mind, right? What we're talking about here is semi-annual review. It's time for you to break out that pen and paper. Break out that pen and paper. Break out that computer that you love, your cell phone that you love to have in your hands every 5 seconds. Calculator. The calculator should be your best friend on your cell phone. You know why? Because you want to see how much money you're bringing in and how much money is being taken out. And if you don't have anything left over as discretionary, your evaluation has just told you you got a problem. It's time to make some changes. It's time to make some adjustments. And yes, I'm that person to tell you, listen, it's time to make some adjustments. It's okay. It's okay to make adjustments, guys, in your finances when you know that you are spending faster than what you're bringing in. So, and at the same time, if you have a goal in mind, if you have a goal in mind and you know, I want to have my first investment property by this time next year. In order for me to do that, I need to go on a 12-month get myself cleaned up binge. I need to make sure that this looks right. I need to make sure these bad payments that I had in the past are taken off the credit report. I need to make sure that I'm making on time payments. I need to make sure I pay these credit card down so I can get my utilization score up. I need to make sure I do all these things, right? Give yourself a strategy plan. You give yourself a strategy plan, right? Of things that you need to add into your everyday. Even if it takes you a month or two for you to see the outcome, that means you're doing the work, that you are doing the work, right? Hey, Instagram. Hey, how you guys doing? I see y'all are chiming on in. Thank you so much for being here with us. I'm telling you, this is one of the things that we had to do ourselves when we were buying properties, when we were building to be able to have an investment firm, to be able to do insurance, to be able to do those things, right? Because if you don't fight for you, no one's going to fight for you. So I'm so glad that we had this opportunity to talk about this because semi-annual review is not about just looking at the numbers and saying, okay, I only got $100 left for the month. Okay, so what's next? What's next? What are you going to do to make that $100 to $400? What are you going to do to make that $400 to $1,000 or $3,000? How do you create the income cash flows? How do you also make sure you're paying out less? Taxation. Are you structured properly in your taxation? Have you sat down with your accountant? Are you sitting down with your tax preparer? If your tax preparer cannot give you information or instructions on how to pay lesser taxes in your business structure, maybe you're structured improperly for the way you work or the way your business brings in income. Let's say you're a seasonal income earner, like a lawn care service, or maybe you're doing cleaning services or things of that nature, right? How are you actually structured in your taxes? Are you under a LLC, a S corp, a holding company? How is that actually done for you? If it wasn't done properly, that's okay. It's always a way you can fix it. It's always a way you can fix it. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to you guys about semi-annual review. Now, what are the things I need you to look at for your semi-annual review? I'm giving you homework. I'm giving you homework today, okay? On this homework, I need you guys to be able to do a few things. I want you to look at your fixed costs. Those areas are how much you're actually paying out every single month, and it's usually the exact same amount every single month. Those are your fixed cost items. I want you to write those down. And then the next thing I want you to do is to write down your variable costs. Those are the things that you have to pay every single month, but the amount may vary. It may be a little bit off. It may juggle a little bit. A good example of that is like your utilities. Okay. Your utilities in the fall may be one amount. In the summer, it may be another amount because of the way electricity is used. Okay. I want you to write that down. And then I want you to write down how much money are you actually bringing in consistently to your business. Now, If you are a person that is on commission, take the average. Take the average amount of how much money you're bringing in average. Now, when you actually know that amount of what you're bringing in, minus your fixed costs, your variable costs, and any other miscellaneous items that may come up quarterly or anything that may come up one time a year that you know you have to put in, you can calculate, average that out over 12 months. Just do the averages of everything. And then I want you to see exactly what you have left in your discretionary income. And as you're looking at your discretionary income, I want you to understand that this is the amount of money that you actually have extra to live off of, to be able to do things that matter to you. Okay. And those areas are areas that's going to be able to tell you if you can take vacations, if you can actually enjoy weekend out with the girls that's not normally on the list of things to do, if you are able to put some extra money into an investment that you've been truly want to get into, like REITs properties and so forth. One of the things that our clients ask us is, how do I find the money to put into something like a REITs property? I really want to go and get some REITs properties in my investment portfolio. I really want to be able to do these things, and I want to be able to put a rental property in my business name. Well, how do I do that? So those are the things that we're moving towards. And as we've been talking over the weeks, guys, we've been talking about budgets. We've been talking about financing for properties. We've been talking about what you need to do in securing your insurance for legacy building. We've been talking about what do you need to do as far as percentages of how to spend and what not to spend. We've also had guest speakers come in and talk to us about what? Legal documents, how to make sure your legal documents are right for your home, for your business, for your employees, for your partnerships. We've been talking about all of that over these last several weeks. But one of the things that I want you to also be sure of that you do is take care of your personal finances, because your personal finances, if they're not intact, they will bleed into your business. If your personal finances are not intact, it will bleed into your business, and vice versa. If your business income is not intact, it will bleed into your personal. And that is just the truth of the matter, because what happens is when one cannot sustain by itself, you have to actually lean on the other for back support. And so, what you're trying to do right now is stop leaning. That's the thing. Try not to lean on your personal finances because your business is not intact, and vice versa. So I hope that was some great nuggets for you today, guys. This is Financially Fit Friday. I know everyone's getting ready to go out and enjoy themselves and, spend time with their family and their friends over the weekend. And we're getting ready to go see some friends ourselves this weekend. But this is the thing. If it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget. And those are one of the words that people hate. I know when we did the budget segment, people was like, oh God, I just don't want to talk about budgets, right? But guess what? The truth of the matter is that if you have a goal in mind and you know that this is this year and you have 24 months to meet that goal, or you have 18 months to meet this goal, or vice versa, right? You need to make sure that you are taking step by step by step progress to that goal, so you don't try to do it all at once. It is very difficult to try to meet a set goal and you haven't given yourself time to get to that goal. So, one by one, I want you to look at that list: fixed costs, variable costs, whether it be your personal or your business, and look at how much money you're bringing in. And after that, what are you actually holding as discretionary income? Now that you have evaluated that, if you, let's say that you're talking about your business, if you are talking about your business and you know that you have all these expenditures and all these fees and you have all these payrolls for your staff and so forth, how do you adjust those numbers? How do you adjust those numbers? And guess what? You can adjust those numbers. Evaluate exactly how much are you spending on certain things that you don't need. An example of that is I have a business and I have staff. So as we're looking at what we're paying out on a month-to-month basis, as our semi-annual review, I'm asking the staff, listen, we have these subscriptions to this computer system, to this technology system, to this phone system, to this. We go through it. And I said, which of these features are you guys using every single day? What is it that you're using? What is it that you're not using? What is not user friendly for you? Is it better for us to move this system like a telephone system? If the phone system is not working to where it needs to work to for my staff and the perfection, and we're paying a certain amount of money for this particular feature, should I or should I not move this particular type of phone system to another carrier that will give you what you need for more efficiency and more effectiveness in our business with a better cost basis? That was just one example of what we're doing to review our semi-annual review. I get tickled. I get tickled, guys. I get tickled because my thought is this: are you doing that in your business? Does that particular purchase every single month in your business make sense? Or is it just a expenditure that's on your books that you already been paying for and you haven't taken the time to see if it's doing what you need it to do? That's how you do a semi-annual review of your business and your personal life. I've enjoyed you guys today, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. This is yet another Financially Fit Friday, and I'm so excited we had a chance to talk to you today. I hope those nuggets will be very helpful for you. If you have any additional questions or maybe even some comments, feel free to send us an inbox message or DM us here at the W Squared AV Talk, okay? Or also you can send me a personal message at Demetris_Curry. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Follow us on Instagram at Demetris_Curry and also on YouTube where you can get the replays for our Financially Fit Fridays every week. Okay? Thank you guys so much for being here with me. I hope that was helpful for you today. Talk to you soon.